Story 1. Find something meaningful to do when you are not actively submitting applications. Consider tutoring or volunteering for a cause you find important. We all need meaningful ways to spend our time. Story 2. The answer is cliché, but it really does help. Start working out and begin doing small achievable tasks. Go for a jog or even just take a walk in nature. Clean your room. Eat clean and healthy food. Visit a new and tranquil place. Do some simple weightlifting. Try a hobby you are interested in. Progressing in something is very motivating and will improve your mood. Story 3. Some days are just really bad. Not gonna lie. When you truly have a bad day, you are not going to be exercising, eating healthy, or doing any of the other things. You just lie in bed half dead, waiting for the day to end. That is the reality of it. I just try to have faith that tomorrow will be better. Sometimes it takes a while and a lot of faith for a better tomorrow, but it eventually always does come. Story 4. Use this time to exercise, eat healthy, and improve yourself. Explore the free resources offered by your local library. Story 5. Start by leaving this website. Delete the application. Do whatever you need to do. Reddit and social media are worsening your depression. Story 6. Establish a slow but gradual routine. Wake up, brush teeth, wash face, go slip underneath covers. Then add going outside and just standing for a minute or two before going back in. Do the same thing except walk for a minute or two. Keep building on it. Story 7. Go outside, get some sun, touch the grass, and remember that the world keeps moving. Do you want to be left behind? Story 8. The make it smaller method, I call it, means focusing on one task at a time. If the task is too large, make it smaller. For instance, if you can't get out of bed, hang your legs over the side. If you can't do that, take the blanket off. If you can't do that, simply wiggle your toes. The goal is to try and make the task just a little bigger each day. As long as you keep moving, you are winning and will make it up and out the door in no time. In terms of guilt, remember one task a day is still 365 tasks in a year, and that is a lot of progress. Grow, heal, and good luck. You got this. Story 9. Yes, exercise is excellent for combating depression. Go to a gym, take a 1-hour introductory course, and push yourself. Swim and use the sauna afterward if available. Do something that creates a dopamine boost, such as eating dark chocolate. Take a walk in the forest or park. Story 10. Please do a few hours of volunteering. See if you can walk dogs waiting in an animal shelter. Dogs are the best therapists. Story 11. Went on a road trip with my 2 sons and our dog in 2019. It was the best therapy I have ever had, and I have been out of my rut ever since. Story 12. Start a diary. It is quite motivating because you do not want to end up writing, nothing new was achieved today, and I am locked into a death spiral. Meetup.com is a handy source of interesting activities, depending on your interests. Story 13. I deal with depression and I know everyone has different ways of coping, but this is what helps me. First, I am a gamer. I removed all the video games from the bedroom so I am not just in there all the time lying down. Second, and I know this is hard, I force myself to get out and exercise. I used to walk around my neighborhood, but now I can afford Planet Fitness because it is affordable, so I try to force myself to go every day. On bad days, I just walk on the treadmill for an hour while watching the televisions or listening to music. Other than that, I do the treadmill and then use the machines, and it really helps. Next, make sure you eat. Do not starve yourself. Make sure you are not just eating junk food all the time either. If all you can manage is a burger, make sure there is lettuce on it. Vegetables are unpleasant, but our bodies and brains need them. I also see a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and I am on medication. It is rough, but it is a one day at a time, celebrate the small victories kind of thing when dealing with depression. It is difficult, but you have to do it for yourself. Not for anyone else, for yourself. Because the good times definitely outweigh the bad. Story 14. This is what you do right now, and then do it every day once you wake up. 5 sets of 5 repetitions. That's it. Can be 1 set of push-ups, 1 set of sit-ups, 1 set of jumping jacks, 1 set of squats, or just 5 sets of push-ups. Do 5 sets of 5 repetitions of whatever you want. Trust me, start now and do it every day. Do it right now, it will take you 10 minutes. The day isn't over until you sleep at night. There is still plenty of time to be productive, but it starts with small steps. Story 15. First, get therapy if you feel depressed. Free therapy in the United Kingdom is available but has a long waiting time of about a month or more. You need to focus on small tasks in order to achieve bigger goals. These tasks can include, but are not limited to, joining a pool team, getting a motorcycle license, walking, or joining a hiking group. Gym and therapy sessions are also helpful. Set small goals you want to achieve. Just ask yourself what you want to do. Gaming groups like Warhammer or board game nights are good options. Doing a hobby is beneficial as well. For me, I got my motorcycle license and decided to go out on my bike a lot. It is essential for my mental health. Find what works for you. My father died 3 years ago. Life is strange. My mother died when I was 7. I have no girlfriend and often feel bored after work. For me, biking helped me get back to being active. Find your niche. Story 16. Going to the gym. Legitimate. I got fired in November. Got depressed and was lying in bed not wanting to do anything. Then one day I just started going to the gym. Story 17. I waste away if I do not have a job. I need to be forced to be active or I will not be. The way I got out of many years of depression was by 1. Getting a full-time job I enjoy with people I care about. 2. Slowly but surely building social circles, fun and healthy habits, and making friends I can do things with. And 3. Accepting who I was as a person, disrupting negative thought processes, and breaking the mental loops that convinced me I had to hate myself. The last one is the most important. Story 18. I made a get stuff done list. I gave myself a week to finish what I wrote down while applying for another job. It wasn't my first time getting fired. I got tired of the nonsense with them anyway. Story 19. For me, it was getting good at cooking and returning to art. It is really satisfying to see things come together. Bonus points because then I had something to show off to other people. Story 20. When I was suffering from extreme depression, I was not bedridden. I was on my computer playing video games I loved. I was actively pursuing things I enjoy and not just wasting away. Well, my body was wasting away. I barely ate anything for a month and lost a lot of weight. But I kept myself busy. Story 21. Discipline yourself and develop a consistent routine. Every day, just get up, get washed, get fed, complete your chores, catch up on communications, stretch, breathe, and take a walk in nature if you can. Once you have done that, you will return home to a clean and healthy version of yourself and your home. Enjoy the rest of your day. It is hard to begin with. I have been out of work for several months, but it has helped me immensely. I do not feel bedridden at all now. Still a lazy person with some chores, though. Also, try not to be hard on yourself about missing the odd thing or spending a day on the couch watching a movie. Just get up. Best of luck. Story 22. I was in a terrible place back in November when my entire department was made redundant. I ate poorly, felt depressed, and gained a lot of weight. Since starting to go to the gym and eating properly again, I have had more energy, more self-esteem, and feel more confident about the job search in a very rough market. I may still be on the climb back to stability, but introducing those routines and caring about myself has made a significant difference. Story 23. You should look for a free support group in your area. Go to your local unemployment office to see if you can find any part-time work or if there's anything they can do to help you. If you have a vehicle, you can sometimes work making deliveries. For example, depending on availability in your area, you can work for Amazon part-time making deliveries through an application. The most important thing is to take action. Story 24. I drag myself out of bed at the crack of dawn for exercise, submit 5 applications, then break off to do chores or work on projects. Around lunch, I submit 5 more applications and some days play golf. I try to contact 1 or 2 people in my network each day to keep relationships active. Simply put, I don't give myself time to atrophy. There's no profit in self-pity and no progress in procrastination. Every day I wake up is one day closer to my death. I don't really have time to waste. Story 25. I spent a year unemployed. The moment I realized what that was like, I started exercising actively 3 to 4 days a week. I approached a hobby with the active engagement of a job. I set aside an hour Monday to Friday to job search and send out applications. In other words, I found things to do and put myself on a schedule to do them all while pursuing an escape. No one is going to force you to stop procrastinating. You have to care enough about yourself to do it on your own. I say this as someone who has struggled with depression and immediately fell into that after a few months without a job. It was that introspection and understanding that made me realize I had to do something about it. Story 26. The thing that helped me in the worst of my depression was running. I started small, creating a circuit that amounted to about a 5-kilometer distance. When I first started, I would run a quarter mile, then walk half a mile, then run another quarter mile, and so on. After a few months, I was running the whole way and felt much better. Being in better shape helped me in many ways. Some other things I tried that worked. I would go to the lake in my town just to get out of the house. I did the same thing I did at home, just relax and use cannabis, but it was more satisfying outside. Plus, there were more attractive people outside than in my house. I would take night walks, usually waiting until after sunset to walk around my neighborhood. I have done this in many places, and for a time, it was my way to explore a new city. In college, I was deeply depressed but interested in a girl. I often took the long way walking from her dorm to mine, about a mile. I started volunteering at a summer literacy program for kids in an at-risk area. This helped me get out of myself and realize my problems were comparatively small. It is hard to feel sorry for yourself when you have to explain to children that they cannot play outside because of gun violence in the neighborhood that day. A story from Washington, D.C. in the Anacostia area, across the Anacostia River from downtown, stands out. One child often threw temper tantrums and tried to walk home when he did not get his way. This was a serious concern because his home was a 10-minute walk straight down a large hill. One day, we were at the Library of Congress and he did the same thing. I chased him down and asked, "Where were you going?" He said, "I'm going home." I told him, "Point to where home is." He looked at me, then looked around, and for the first time realized he had no idea where home was. He calmed down and was well behaved for the rest of the field trip. Story 27. Depression, I believe, means you are not coping and not succeeding. Change your environment. Change your friends. Change your attitude. Story 28. One fascinating thing I've discovered is that when you are depressed or living a constrained lifestyle, your tendency to experience positive moods on any given day is directly correlated with the number of unique rooms you spend time in. In simpler terms, keep track of how many different rooms or environments you engage with each day. If your mood is low, try to immerse yourself in as many varied spaces as possible. It genuinely helps. Beyond this unconventional tip, consider incorporating these habits into your daily routine. Spend some time in the sun each day. Consult with a healthcare professional. Explore talk therapy. Discuss medication options if appropriate. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Most importantly, take things one day at a time. Once you establish a baseline of physical energy, delve into mental health educational content online. You are going to overcome this. I believe in you. Story 29. I feel you. I really do. I went through something similar. What I have found helpful is keeping a schedule of when to apply for jobs and when to rest. I stuck to a 9-to-5 schedule and I find that helps. Keep a daily goal to apply for at least one job. It really is a numbers game. Just keep applying to maintain momentum. Your mental health is very important while you look for a job, and when you do land an interview, you want to put forth your best effort. Routines help a lot. I feel like we often take the time we have when unemployed for granted. Enjoy the freedom while you can, which I know is a struggle because money is very important. If you have people you care about, whether family or friends, it is always good to have a support system around you during tough times. This is only temporary. You have this. Story 30. The thing that pulled me out of this cycle personally was number 1, spring weather. Number 2, taking my medication again. And number 3, getting a job that was not too intense to handle. Story 31. At a minimum, spend at least 1 hour walking outside every day. You should also get some exercise, work on learning new skills online, and consider moving to a different city or country if you are not finding sufficient opportunities in your area. Story 32. Drag yourself out to the beach or any natural area nearby and enjoy the beauty of the world. Bring food and something to read. Take a nap in the sun. Talk to a random person you meet. Your task each day is to go outside your home and appreciate the simple presence of yourself in the universe. You can worry about the future later when you are in a better headspace. Story 33. Socialize. Play a sport or learn a sport and be around people, even as simple as running or going to the gym. Sounds crazy, but being around people changes things. It forces you to engage and be awake. Team sports are especially great at feeding our social needs in tight groups. Story 34. I consulted a psychologist and have been taking medication for almost a month now. I'm telling you, bro, your mind will become clear. Story 35. Working on a project and taking a long walk during the day. Having vitamin D deficiency can contribute to depression-like symptoms. Story 36. I started going to my local pub and played snooker with my stepdad. Eventually, they needed a barman, and because they already knew me, I got the job. I started cycling to work and became somewhat fit, which was a bonus. I came out of my shell there, made friends, found a community, and I did find the answer to depression at the bottom of a beer bottle. After 8 pints, I finally went, forget this, I'm sick of being alone. I plucked up the courage to ask out one of the cute Chinese girls from the job I got fired from a year earlier. Surprisingly, she said yes, and we had a short, placid, easy relationship. Suddenly, I had value. Suddenly, things were fun again. I had things to look forward to. I wanted to be closer with my family and took the effort to pick up the phone and actually go see them. Now, I'm currently on an offshore support vessel in the North Sea training to be a ship's engineer. It's been 3 months now, and I'm still loving it. Those days of aimless depression are now a disturbing memory. But it all started with just a trip to a new pub instead of the third waste of time of the day. Story 37. Get out of bed and go for a walk in the sun. Lie down in a park and watch the clouds float by and the trees wave in the breeze. Feel the wind against your skin. This alone will get you up and moving a little. Forward motion, no matter how small, is progress. Also, take a shower and shave. Story 38. Short answer, you do not. The Matrix penalizes those who do not contribute, whether it is your fault or not. Story 39. You should see your doctor to get a prescription for antidepressants and consult a psychologist for help. This is not a complaint seeking pity on the internet. Story 40. External and internal accountability are necessary to take action. Oddly enough, you just need to start moving a little bit. For example, go for a walk to the store or walk shelter dogs. Research supports this. Just start moving. Regarding the job situation, it is hard to say without knowing your circumstances. Story 41. I am really good at making pancakes. I have been cooking my own meals since I was a kid, and pancakes are one of my favorites. Having made them almost every day, I have reached the point where I can make pancakes better than many professional chefs. Story 42. Walk. Move a little. Start very small and take longer routes. I promise you it will become something you enjoy and it will improve your mood. Story 43. What do you mean no jobs? Car wash at the intersection. Get scissors and cut bushes for neighbors. Pick up all small plastic from the ground in forests. Send me pictures and I will send you money. Story 44. For me, I build. Keeps my body moving, and moving muscles release antidepressants. I have built a business that runs on virtually no overhead with no debt because it is all sweat equity. Everything I sell is almost pure profit. My competitors pay for their materials, mortgages, or leases on their facilities, utilities, and so on. I can undercut them and still make a profit because the work I put in at the beginning was just fun for me. It allowed me to have no bills because I built it mostly with sweat, not money. Story 45. Just because you are not in education, employment, or training does not mean you should become bedridden. Go outside and walk whenever the weather is nice. Story 46. One day, I just wanted better for myself. I went outside, started running and eating healthy, and the rest just fell into place. Story 47. Tell your parents to stop supporting you financially. Once you face the choice between working and being homeless, it becomes much easier to get out of bed in the morning. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.